Hello and welcome back to another video on Eco. Now I'm going to keep this brief, like it's not going to be as long as the other videos. It's not even got face cam in it because yeah. Right, okay, so where do I begin? Okay, let's start with the familiar looking at this town hall expansion here. So as you can see, I kind of built out my house a bit, but that's not what's important here to talk about, right? This is more or less a review of this game and my experience so far on it. It's been like a week since all those other parts were recorded. Like I did all those on the first day. This is a server base, so I decided to record a lot of it. And then, the following day, I hopped in a Discord call with like the people on the server. It was all good, chatted, nice enough people and whatnot. But yeah, okay. But where do I begin with my problems I have with this game overall? So I mean, it's all server based, and I saw that when I was joining. That's what I was a bit iffy about, right? And it's kind of like confirmed that overall. So what I need to really talk about is I'll show off like some of the stuff like that's going on. This road was always kind of here. Spacelight, right? I'll walk around my house when explaining this first, right? So basically, at first. It was all good in that everyone seemed to get along well enough and all that. But the problem that I had was it's like over time I realised something about this game, and it felt like Minecraft, but you need to rely on other people. Like you can't just do what you want to do in this game. You have to kind of rely on others, right? So for example, I was building my house, right? And I want to build like a mortared stone house. I just want to build a stone house like this, right? But to get the mortared granite that I needed, I basically needed to buy it off another player because I haven't spec'd into the specialization of masonry. You can see all these professions here. You pick like specific ones, right? So I'd have to pick masonry here, right? And if I wanted to actually do that and make these stone blocks here, right? And as you can see, there's like tons and tons of specializations, right? Absolutely tons of them. So you kind of just need to rely on other people if you want to do something, right? Now I picked paper milling as my first one because no one else was really doing that, right? And what a mistake that was. Right now I'm the only paper miller on this server, but, there's a good reason for that. So basically, I had to mill paper. Oh, I'm going to choose my talent quick, though. Yeah, sure, I'll do that. But another point. So basically, yeah, I chose paper milling, all that. I managed to actually get on going in the end. I actually spec'd into tailoring to make the ingredients I need for paper. But I digress, right? So I need to get the mortared granite, right? Now the thing is, no one is buying paper. There's no demand for paper at this early stage. A few people brought paper a bit, but it wasn't really something that people are sought after, right? So basically, throughout this entire time, I've been outside of my specialization, just mining stuff, right? Now, whatever granite I had, I sold, right? I'd sell it to different shops and all that, and whatnot, right? And there was this big clay pile next to my house. You might have saw me digging some clay in some of my parts. Yeah, I literally quarried all of that out, right? And as you can see, this is quite a big pit. I quarried it all out. I dragged it all out by a cart and whatnot. I literally sold it all to a person that lives over that way. And I even dug this tunnel going to them. I go through here. And then you look at this big, massive brick house here, and they lived in here. Thing is, they left the server because of disagreements they had with the admin and whatever, right? It is what it is. Yeah, I'm not going to get into that. There was some serious drama, some serious beef. It was like, what is this? And basically, after that, so I couldn't sell any clay to them anymore after that, but I had already sold a lot of clay to them. And I'd have to take my granite down to the stone shop over there. where I buy the mortared granite. Like, I'd have to drive my car along down here, up this road, down this road, and I'd come over to like basically this place over here. Now, I really like this shop. The person that runs it was chill. That was cool. But the problem I had is like basically so I'd sell my stone for like 0.2, but the walls cost like 0.25, and I think it takes like 3 or 4, maybe 6 stone to make a block and like some other stuff. The point being, right, is you get the idea being is you're supposed to make profit if you're running things, which I get. Basically, I'd sell my stone to them, but like I'd sell a bunch of stone to the point where they don't need the stone anymore, and I have to buy back as much of as I could. I have to sell logs to this person who makes like stuff there, like with logs, like a carpenter and all that stuff. But like the thing is, since I could only really get raw materials because I was paper milling, I could only really do so much. Like, I can only earn so much. I spent all this time, I made a bunch of paper here. Spent a lot of time making this paper, hoping people would buy it, right? And, moving forward in the game, that shouldn't be a problem. People should buy that paper, and, then I can build my house out more. The person that runs the stone shop knows that I need the stone, like the mortared granite, so they're making it and all that. But the issue comes in where it's sort of like, after this person, this person rage quits the server and all that. There's disagreement with the admin, whatever, right? After like a week of playing the server, like this day 14, this happens, and we're on day 7. I started on day 7, just day 14, this happens. It comes on server announcement that the server's going to be getting wiped next Friday. It's like everything gets reset, everyone starts from fresh again, all that sort of stuff, right? And it's sort of like, it's completely unannounced, like, until, like, just, like yesterday or something, where it's like, oh, yeah, we're going to be starting fresh. And it's like, well, I didn't even get to build my house. No one really brought anything from me. I get this was a server-based game, but, like, the wipes, like, on official is 4 weeks, whereas, like, this is, like, 3 weeks in, they're literally wiping it. And, like, it's like, another person was building this massive temple over there. I actually want to show that temple off real quick because, I think it's a really cool looking building. Thankfully there's no fall damage in the game, but anyway, not the point, right? So this person was building this massive limestone brick building, like this mortared limestone building here. Like, looks great. Like, look at these wool statues, all that sort of thing. Like, but then it's like, yeah, the server's just getting reset, and it's like, because this is going to be a central market building, right, where everyone put like their stores in one place, and maybe they all get like a plot or something, and like, yeah, you just have your store here. So yeah, but it's kind of like, yeah, this is a central market, and what happened was, well, or maybe like you pull over a wagon or something, I don't know. But yeah, it's basically a case of, it's supposed to be like the central market, but basically, the person putting a lot of effort to build this building, and then it's just like, yeah, it's going to get wiped. And it's like, yeah, I can understand it, wipes are something that's going to happen on a server-based game. So I don't know, but it's just kind of like, well, I spent like 50 hours on this server, and it's just like, yeah, across the week, and it's just like, okay, well, yeah, but it's going to get wiped now, and it's like, well, I would like to know that like a week ago when I first started out, like, it's like, yeah, we're going to wipe in like 2 weeks time, like, and it's like, well, okay, I get that that's, you might not necessarily know that at a time, and it's like, the only reason I have this powered car is because it was literally from, the person down there when they quit, like the owner, I asked for the car and they just gave me the car, but anyway, not the point. And yeah, before you ask, like, if you try hitting this jump on the car, you go like, you might reach like here, and I'm not joking, it just flops off the edge, like, it is not the speed, not the source, but anyway, not the point. Point being is, it's sort of like, yeah, the problem that I have with this game at the moment, why I probably won't play it going forward, is sort of like, I just wanted to build my house, right? And obviously, the person who runs the stone shop and all that, they have their own life, they have their own job to go to, like, they have all these other responsibilities, right? So it's like, it's not like they can sit around all day playing a game, producing stone for me, right? And I understand that completely, like, that's how life is. You can't just, That's not a luxury like everyone has, sort of thing. So it's sort of like, well, yeah. So I'm basically waiting on them to produce stone, but because they can only produce at certain times and all that, you know, that's understandable. Like you know, when there's a server reset coming in, and when it's like, well, as you can see, like the server's just disconnected because yeah, it does. It does. It's like reset like every 8 hours. But I'll still run around because I'm just, you know, talking about the server. So, you know, obviously people have lives, they have jobs to go to, and that makes a lot of that makes perfect sense. Like, you know, you can't. It's just that's normal life, right? There's no way around that. But it's sort of like when you're in a situation like that where you have a game where you literally have to rely on other people. It's kind of like, well, what can you really do? Like, there is nothing you can really do. Like, you know, I'm just sat there waiting to build my house so I can actually get on with the game. Like, you know, get the paper milling on the go. And I did get the paper milling on the go, but I still wanted to, like, you know, build the rest of my house, make it look nice. And, you know, this is not even in its complete form. It's just kind of what it is. And that's probably what it's going to stay like because, well, yeah. But, yeah, regardless, right? So, what happened is, you know, it's day 15. Day 21 is going to be like the reset. But ever since like the wipe was announced like yesterday, there's like literally no one on, right? So no one has any motivation to actually do anything for the server now because like the reset's been announced. So basically, this server has a shelf life of 2 weeks, and to me, it just feels like for a game where you're supposed to build up like a community, an economy, like your own buildings and all that. Like, you know, you can look at this title screen here. You can see someone has like a, like maybe that's a grocery store on like a dock. You know, you can have like you have this building back there. Like, you know, you have quite a lot of stuff built up, right? So for me, it's sort of like, yeah, you have all this cool stuff that you can do, but you're only gonna have the shelf life for like 2 weeks, and it's like, I don't know, maybe that's just an issue with the server I'm on, maybe that's an issue with the game, but like, you know, wipes are common, like everyone will wipe their server because the map size is limited, so it's like, the only way I can really describe it is like Minecraft, but you have to rely on other people with a much smaller map. Although the map is a globe, which is very cool, it's kind of like, well, there is nothing you can really do if you're not doing the thing that you want to do yourself. Like, if you want to build, you basically have to be a mate. Like, you have to be able to craft the material you want to build out of, right? Otherwise, you're just not going to, like, you know, and even then, you're still relying on other people to get the good food in. So, basically, no matter what, you're relying on other people. And that's kind of where the game just falls apart for me, because it's like, yeah, not everyone can play all the time. You know, not everyone will want to play all the time. It's understandable. And yeah, like, because of that, you just get nothing done because there is no time to do anything. And, you know, eventually, like, since the map's limited size and all that, you know, you can't have constantly people joining or leaving. Of course, it's going to get wiped because, you know, there's going to be, like, players who've got, like, so powerful, so rich on the servers. Because it all has currencies as well, like, you know, you choose currency. So, you know, this might be a person who has accumulated so much wealth and power that they don't really need to do anything anymore. And at that point, it's like, well, it's just a mess, right? And yeah, so that's about my thoughts on this. Like, you know, I'll keep it brief. It's 15 minutes long. So yeah, it's just kind of like, what am I doing on that, sir? Like, you know, I'm probably not gonna play the game again. That's why I'm making this video, because it's like, well, yeah, it's over. You know, what is there for left me to do on the server? Like, maybe hang around in case, like, I can build more of my house, but, I mean, let's see if I can connect back. Okay, well, yeah, I'm connecting back, but, like, you know, I just want to, like, do a little bit of more of a house tour, because, yeah. You know, I just want to make sure I got all this captured on, like, my house captured on camera, because, well, I'm not going to have another time to capture it on camera, you know, like, you know, if I want to save it, it's got to be saved in my YouTube channel. Like, you know, if I look at my Minecraft world that I had, like, I lost data for that like long time ago, right? Which is why I don't play Minecraft anymore. And I might say like, well, it's a bit like sad to not play your like a game that you like because you lost your data on it. But for me, it's a much deeper thing than that. Because with my Minecraft world, when I flew around and did a tour of it on my YouTube, and like I did a live stream of it at one point. The thing about it is, in that world, there are some construction, like there's some buildings that have been built in that Minecraft world. Because I used to play that world with my brother and my dad, right? Now my dad passed away a few years ago, so those few structures in my world, like they're really impressive structures. If you watch the video, it's like the spiral tower, like the big wooden spruce spiral tower, like that goes to the maximum height. And his house looked pretty cool, but mainly the big wooden tower, right? And also like there's this off-site villa that I'm pretty sure I did capture on my stream, right? Where it's like this thing built on a lake on stilts, right? Big stone thing. It looks great, but thing is, right? That spiral tower, I don't think I'll ever have the skill to build it. I don't know how it's laid out. I don't know what the dimensions of like how the stairs go up and all that sort of thing, right? So the thing is, when I lost that Minecraft world data, I lost that as well, right? That's a part of, like, something my dad built, who has now passed away, so he can't rebuild it. I can't replay the game with him. So yeah, it's kind of like, losing that data, it hurts more than just losing a save file. Like, you lose a part of someone you want to remember, right? And, I'll always remember my dad. That's just a thing that's going to happen. Like, throughout my entire life, I always remember him. Like, he was my dad. Like, how can I not? But basically, what I mean is, with that takes a toll. You can't just go like, yes, I lost my... After losing that, it's hard to just go, yeah, I'll just start a new world and do everything again. It's fine, because no matter what I do in that world, it won't be the same. Maybe I could take on the monumental task of somehow trying to like rebuild that. But it will be difficult, like, because the thing is, I can't just build something like it. I'd want it to be one-to-one, right? And the thing is, I just don't think I can make it one-to-one. And, it's not like I can just go, hey, yeah, I'll just look at the images of it and identify from that how the blocks go. It's like, yeah, I actually do have some pictures of it. I have a screenshot of it from quite far away. I have some footage of it where I go near it. So, maybe I can tell from that, but I'm not really a specialist. I know there's some people that are, like, on the internet that have, found out about, like, looking at like Minecraft structures or like worlds, and they find exact Minecraft world just by looking at the terrain of it, right? But it is what it is, right? Like, I'm not going to get that back. Like, unless like there's like a massive collaborative effort. But I don't expect people to go through that just for me. Like, the thing about it is, like, I'm nobody. Like, it's not like I really. It's not like anything's warranted. It's not warranted to do that for me, It just is what it is. Like, I'm some random guy out in the world, and that happened to me. Like, I'm sure stuff like that happens to people all the time, and that's just kind of how it is. But I digress, right? So, I'm not really too bothered about losing it. Like, I went on a massive tangent then, but that's. It's just some information I can share about me. I felt like it was a good enough time to do it. So, but what I was saying, right, is I'm not too bothered that this server's going to get wiped. That doesn't bother me in a bit, alright? Like, I don't mind that I'm going to lose my house here. Like, I don't really care about this house. Like, I don't care about, like, the people. What I do care about is just like, well, sort of something like the person who runs the server was just like, yeah, I'm just going to do a wipe, and it's like, okay, it's just like kind of out of nowhere, like, and that's kind of why the person who run the brick area over there left, not for like the wipe reason, but for other reason, where it's like, like basically what they were saying was like, the server owner just does whatever they want without any input or informing, like without even informing anyone, like, there won't be any, like, get any input from anyone else, and they won't inform anyone, like, you know, what they're doing. They just kind of just do it, and don't get me wrong, I can understand like that from a perspective of like, well, yeah, I mean, if it's their server, they can do what they want. Like, you know, that's just how it is. Like, you know, if someone's paying for server maintenance, or you know, they pay like they have rented a server, or they, you know, they're running it themselves and like using their own stuff, and like, you know, they own the equipment or whatever. Either way, like, you know, they're the ones who have like the cost involved there. Like, you know, they're to, you know, of course they're going to have the right to run anything they want, like the way they want. But it's like, well, yeah, if you do join a server, you're kind of at the mercy of people that will do that, and that's fine. That's just the nature of what it is. But to me, it's just like, well, you know, if that's what it is, it's just not for me. You know, I was hoping, like, you know, be quite a good time. Like, you know, like, say I joined like 1 week in, like day 7, so I was like, yeah, I'd plenty of time to, like, you know, build up my thing. You know, I accidentally chose paper milling, but people said like, oh no, we need paper later on, so we'll buy paper from you later on. And it's like, okay, well, in that case, I was like, yeah, sure, okay, I don't mind having chose paper milling. Then I'll just get on making paper as soon as possible. So, you know, I made the paper, and barely anyone even brought it. And then, like, you know, the wipe was announced, people just aren't going to be playing anymore. So it's like, well, it feels like a lot of what I did was pointless, in a sense of like, well, what was there to do? Like, you know, so I spent all this time like struggling, like trying to get money to build my house and all that, because I just wanted a nice looking house when things were going. And then it's just like, yeah, you're not going to have that, because basically we're just wiping the server because why not, sort of thing. Like, you know, it's not like maybe they felt like this town weren't looking great or whatever, like they didn't want to do, I don't know what reason they actually even have for wiping the server, right? It's just kind of like feeling like I guess they wanted to wipe the server, so they wiped the server. That's just how it goes. Like, that's how ownership goes. Like, you know, if you want to do something, you can do something with something you own. It's just how it is. So yeah, I know I rambled for a bit there, but it's basically a case of like, well, no matter what server I join, it's just going to be like that. And, you know, I could play my own world, but then, like, you know, the amount of time it takes to get all the specializations, you have to do them in certain order, this, that, and the other. It's really made to be like a multiplayer game, and it's like, well, you have to find like-minded people, and that isn't gonna happen, right? It's just not. So it's like, well, or maybe it is, but it depends on what you want. But, like, the thing is, if you want something, you have to find out everyone who's in agreement with it. And it's like, and, you know, even if the server did get like infinitely with no wipes, yeah, I'm pretty sure it'd get boring after a while. Like, limited space, like limited map, limited resources, right? Like, now what you're seeing here, that's the entire map. Like, there is nothing else other than this map. Like, I could prove it. Like, you know, I scroll north, it's exactly repeating. I scroll here, you know, it's exactly repeating. So it's like, I think this is the best image I can give, really. Like, you see, you have like this area here, these two mini islands, this small thing down here, and this big area over here, like here, which also crops onto those screens there. Like, you know, if I edited that together in Paint, like, you know, put that down there, put like that over there, and put that over there, and that's the entire map. Like, you know, eventually you're just going to run out of resources. That's just how it is. Like, you know, Minecraft's map's infinite. This is like a globe that you can just go around, which is a cool feature. But yeah, like, you know, eventually you'd exhaust everything. Like, you know, you could build structures everywhere. Like, you'd have nice structures places, but you'd have to have room for forests and all that. There's a lot of mechanics in this game, which make it unique in its own way. But at the same time, it's just like, well, what can you really do? And that's just kind of my gripe with the game. Like, you know, it's like, well, it's got all these cool features to it, but it's not really something that it just doesn't feel that playable. Like if I look online right now, let's see, so I am here, and Whereas everyone else, like, you know, that those icons appear on a map for every online player. Like, you know, you have no one down here, no one on this island, and on this island you have, yeah, no one. It's like no one plays. You know, recently there was a settlement over here. Like, this settlement, really nice place to visit. It would visit, but it takes like ages to get there by canoe. Like, I'd have to get my canoe over here and sail across. Like, you know, it'd take like 5 minutes, maybe longer. But, you know, I was over there earlier buying some stone from this place because, like, you know, my regular stonemason's just not on. Actually, no, it's this place up here that. But point being, right. So I sail over there. All this, right. You know, having a back and forth with them. You know, I tell them about the wipe, and they're like, "Oh, right, okay, cool. When's that happening?" And I tell them. You know, then they all basically, like, you know, they all left at one point, logged off. And then they came back and said, like, "Ah, yeah, we're leaving the game. I'm going to a different server." Like, and it's like, you know, so like these are like 4 friends that play, like, you know, from real life. Like, they know each other in real life, and they all talk to each other, and they just, like, you know, they decide on this game to play, right? Which is cool. Like, having friends like that, great. The point being, right, is, I don't know, it's just, maybe, I don't want to say it's a bad game, maybe I just got a bad server that I'm on, but, you know, the people I talked to in Discord at the one point, like, you know, when, that was like the mayor and, you know, the mayor of the town, like, you know, that stone merchant over there, like, you know, a bunch of people like that, right? And, you know, the person that lived, over there that rage quit the server, you know, they're all nice enough people, right? So it's sort of like, it doesn't really matter what you do, sort of thing. It's just kind of like, well, yeah, I don't know. It's just, so I wouldn't want to call it a bad server either, because, like, you know, they're all nice enough people. Like, I'm pretty sure they have their own ways of running things, but, like, you know, it's just kind of, it's just a mess. Anyway, I've been rambling for half hour. I wanted to make this 15 minutes, but it's half hour. Yeah, but I mean, that's about it for this video. That's my problem with the game. I'm glad I captured my house here. Yeah, and I mean, this will be the last video I'm definitely uploading for this. Like, you know, I didn't even really intend to make a bonus video apart from covering what I did, but then, like, can you shut up? I'm doing an outro here. Like, yeah, so this is pretty much what it is. Like, you know, with all this rigmarole of stuff getting set up and all that, and, like, you know, a lot of decisions that just got made. You know, this is just kind of like, it's just not the game for me. I can't really recommend it in good faith as well. It's just not really, I don't know how to describe it. It's just not really something that you can long-term enjoy. Like, you know, if you're trying to have like a short go of it, or if you, like, you know, enjoy the whole wiping side of it, like, yeah, that's great. But if you don't, or if you, like, you know, if you have dedicated people you can play with, like, you know, that town over there was great. Like, even though it isn't as developed because there's less people, it's amazing because, you know, they're all friends that play with each other, and they're, like, you know, they know each other in real life. So, like, you know, they're just gonna be on the game. Like, you know, they're all gonna get along fine as a community. That's great. Like, you know, but the thing is, like, here it's just like, you know, a wipe was announced, everyone just drops, and it's like, well, okay. But yeah, anyway, not the point. Point being is, this game just, maybe it's bad server, maybe it's bad game, I don't really know. But anyway, not the point. I've talked enough. I hope you all enjoyed this review, and I hope you all have a good day.